Hello, beautiful beings, love and laughter. Tanya Rainbow Horse here. Thank you so much for showing up to receive the message. This video is for people on their self-growth spiritual path who have been encountering triggers and would like to learn a little bit more about those, grow with them, see them through a different light. Because up until recently, they'd been a little bit of an enigma for me. I understood that when things triggered me, that something was coming up. And I know I've seen myself trigger a lot of other people before, and I was like really wanting to know a little bit more on the deeper level there, and I got some clarity on it. So, triggers are actually a really beautiful thing. So really what's going on there is when we are triggered, somebody says something, does something, and it brings up energy in us that's like, like, hold up, I didn't like that. What did they just do? And oftentimes the trigger will say, hey, look at that person. But it's about us. When we are triggered by what anything, anybody else, or anything does, that is about us. That is our wounding coming up. That is information that our subconscious is bringing up for us to examine, to take a look at, to shed light on. It's a very helpful tool, actually, especially if you're like doing journaling or praying or working towards a specific goal and you're actively cleansing out that old way of being. These triggers will come up to say, oh, here you go. It's like a part of the brain that's cataloged away. It's like, here you go, front and center. You asked for this, here it is. Now you can handle it. Now you can bring light to it. If you're aware, I mean, a lot of us, we can get unconscious and we'll just be like, we'll be triggered and we'll be pissed, we'll be annoyed, we'll be stuck in those emotions, which is okay, and it's part of the process. But if we get so stuck in the emotions and we can't pull back a little bit, we don't actually see the gift underneath the trigger. Now, as always, what I say and what I'm sharing here, and from my experience, is slowing down when we've been triggered and sitting with that, just like being present with it and observing it, is where the power is. It's gonna tell you what you need to know. If you can slow down and observe the energy coming forth, the images, the thoughts that are coming into your consciousness after the trigger, they're gonna give you lots and lots of clues of what you can do with that trigger. And what I'm finding is the trigger is really just a subconscious belief coming up to be dealt with. It's like, hey, this is here. If you don't, this is the energy that you hold from this situation or this energy. This is what it is. Now, what are you going to do with that? You can get really clear by listening to the words, the images, the energy of the trigger and pinpoint what the belief is. It will give you clues. It's stored right in that little trigger. Maybe take a notebook and jot down what it's saying. And maybe ask it for some clarity, because it will show up. I had a trigger from my husband a few days ago, and it was right before I'd been doing a lot of journaling about my money story. I'm like, clear it out, cleanse it out. Let's move any blocks and limiting beliefs around money and wealth out of here. And he said something, and just out of the blue, I was like, but, I stopped, and I was like, okay, I need to deal with this. And I sat with it, and I cried, and I was like, what's going on here? And it told me, you have this limiting belief of blah, 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 blah. I'll go ahead and give you an example because maybe it's helpful as well. I had the limiting belief that in order to generate the income I wanted to bring in, I had to do something that was soul-sucking. I had to do a task, a job, work, what have you, something that made my soul just crumble. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. Okay. And I did some journaling on it. I'm noticing this limiting belief, blah, 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 blah. Where did it come from? When did I start feeling this? And so then I started taking a little trip down memory lane in all the jobs that I'd had leading up to now. And the consistent theme was soul-sucking activities in jobs to get paid. Like making peanuts and doing work that I hate, that I loathe, that literally feels like it's sucking the life out of me. And I was like, wow, that's powerful. Very powerful and enlightening. So what I did with that was I allowed that to be as I'm writing and journaling, and I'm like, well, now that I know that this belief is here and I know this is not the belief I wish to carry forward, what belief do I want to be there? And so I started journaling around. I choose to believe that I get to attract opportunities towards me, doing something that I love and making the money that I wish to make. And so I've been playing with this idea and this belief and sinking into it and journaling on it. And I'm starting to see the belief moving around in my mind, in my perception. Like there was a clarity, there's an open space opening up there. It's interesting when we get triggered or we come up upon a subconscious belief, it literally is like a block, like a black wall. Like you literally can't visualize or think past it. It's like, well, you can, but the point is, it literally feels like there's something right there. And that's what I was hitting up against when I was exploring that trigger. I was like, wow, yeah, I literally don't feel myself going further past that, even though I have this goal to have this YouTube channel, to do coaching. How am I going to go out in the world and do that when I have a belief in my subconscious saying, you can only do jobs that suck your soul out for peanuts? No, sister. So, next time you are triggered, play with it. Sit in that uncomfortable place, excuse me, and ask it what it's got to show you. What limited belief is under this trigger? Now I'm going to be looking at triggers left and right in a whole different view. I will be gladly welcoming them, but I welcome them with clarity. Universe, bring me these subconscious beliefs, these triggers in a way that is clear to me. Sit me down into the energy of it. Let me observe it, witness the message, so that I can then turn around and create the belief I do want. Thank you so much for showing up to receive the message, and I look forward to speaking to you on the next video.